Have you ever had a vacation ruined or interrupted because of an accident or an injury or some kind of infection? Well, I've had pretty much all of those, and I'm so grateful that I've learned about an emergency travel kit, that I wouldn't go on a business trip or a vacation without one. And today I want to share a few stories about some of the ways I've used my 5 favorites and give you some additional bonus tips. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people because they work. Natural remedies have been around for hundreds, even thousands of years, and they've been used on people, not in petri dishes. So the results are varied, but at least we know they're safe for humans. So I want to thank you for joining me today. This whole month I've been doing a series on Are You Prepared? And today we're going to talk about a travel kit. If you like these videos, learning about natural health, I hope you subscribe and click on the little notification bell, and you'll be notified each time I present, and that's about once a week. So I can remember the first time I was going to travel to Mexico. People advised me, don't eat the lettuce because it's washed in water that doesn't agree with us. And and you might get Montezuma's revenge. Remember that? Well, we have other words to describe Montezuma's revenge now. But nobody wants to be stuck in a bathroom, missing out on all the fun of a vacation. So, working with herbs, I knew about activated charcoal and probiotics and how they can help rebalance the gut. So, activated charcoal adsorbs, sort of like magnet. It's not like a sponge, but it's more like a magnet, that like Pied Piper, that attracts these toxins and sends them out the bowel so it can stop being irritated. So I've never packed without packing activated charcoal, especially when I go to other countries. And if you understand how important herbs are and how they can help you and what your body is trying to do, like when it's raising a fever, you don't want to take an aspirin because, especially if it's in that low range, you're going to interrupt the body's healing process. A fever helps to burn up toxins. Well, I also love making salves and ointments and different tinctures and that. And I've shared with those throughout with some videos. I will put a link in the description below for how to make black drawing salve. But basically, you on a fly can make some if you have slippery elm and activated charcoal. You can mix it with a little olive oil. If you don't have that handy, then you can mix it with aloe vera gel. You can mix it with a little water. It's not as good with water, but in a pinch, it will work. And then lavender oil, because lavender oil is a great tissue healer. Now, what would you do with this salve? Well, I know for me, whenever I have a bite or a sting or a scratch from a rose bush, I'll put some of this on it. And within no time, the body is healing. And basically, you don't need any more than what you can fit on the end of a toothpick. So about that much is all you need. It's really quite amazing how little you need. And if it's a serious thing, you might want to put a Band-Aid over it. But usually within 12 hours, I've gotten rid of most bites and stings and that type of thing. If the itching persists, I do it every half hour until it stops itching. So I love activated charcoal for the ability it has in moving toxins out of the body. Hippocrates in his writings discussed the use of silver in wound care. At the beginning of the 20th century, surgeons routinely used silver sutures to reduce the risk of infection. So silver's been around for a long time, and it has been used to fight infection. Now, I can't tell you to use silver. In fact, I can't tell you all the things silver is good for, because in August 1999, the US FDA banned colloidal silver sellers from claiming any therapeutic or preventive value for the product. Although silver-containing products continue to be promoted as dietary supplements, and we want them to continue in this line. So we want to abide by the FDA warning. So if other sellers are doing that, they're really putting silver in jeopardy. We want no need for prescription on this very, very important supplement. So numerous warning letters to internet sites that have continued to promote colloidal silver as an antibiotic or for other medical purposes. So we can't say anything about it. I know it's not fair. Drug companies tell you all the things that their drugs do, but natural medicine doesn't really work the same way as drugs do. Drugs are very specific, and herbal remedies are very broad spectrum. And they work with the body. They don't try to control symptoms. They work with the body to get rid of the interferences that are not allowing the body to get into proper balance. So despite the efforts of the FDA, silver products remain widely available on the market today. A review of websites promoting nasal sprays containing colloidal silver suggested that information about silver-containing nasal sprays on the internet is misleading and inaccurate. If it's so misleading and so inaccurate, how come people keep using it? So what I have found in my own personal use, if I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or feel a little bit feverish, I'll take a swig of silver every half hour until I'm feeling better. And what it does, colloidal silver is different than nano silver. Now, colloidal silver is 1-to-1. So in other words, when we used to have colloidal silver, you could see a little bit in the bottom of the jar. It was a heavy molecule, and it would fall to the bottom of the jar, and you'd have to shake it, and then you could spoon it in. And it would be attracted to one microbe, bad microbe, and disperse it. With nano silver, because the silver particles are so tiny and they're electrically charged, that they stay in suspension, and that because of this charge, they can attract to a molecule, disperse it, and go on to the next one. It truly is amazing how it works. And I will put a link to the patent for silver that tells you all the things proven for. So I have clients who use a little pump type nasal spray. They will fill it with silver. It's like 1 ounce and 1 drop of Typhoon. Now, Typhoon is an essential oil blend that reminds me of Vicks Vapor Rub, a healthier version of Vicks Vapor Rub. So they'll spray it into their nostrils, take a breath in, and that goes up into the sinuses. Well, if we know that silver is going to go up into the nostrils and get attracted to infection, it only makes sense that this would be a great preventive measure if you didn't want infections in your nasal passages. Plus, it opens up, the Thai food opens up the sinuses and helps you breathe better. And in the fall, people have mold allergies, and there are different allergies, ragweed, and that they could benefit by trying something like this. Well, I've also made something called a boo-boo spray that I've washed wounds with, and it has silver and distress remedy, which I've talked about in other videos, and lavender oil. Lavender is a tissue healer, and so this doesn't hurt. It actually can assist the body in its efforts to not only clean the wound, but also start the healing effort of the body. So then you can just pat it with a sterile gauze and cover it. Or I like to also put a little bit of what's called the rescue gel, and that also assists in the healing process. So I've gargled with the liquid silver. I put some in my eyes if I've felt like I had something going on, or heavy mucus or redness in the eyes. And I found it safe within and on the body. It offers a broad spectrum of immune support. It's composed of these nano-sized particles, the one I use, to ensure maximum bioavailability and potency. It's non-toxic, poses no risk of heavy metal contamination. In other words, you're not going to turn blue. The one I use is quality controlled, and each batch is checked for consistency and purity. And I will put a link to that as well in the description below. So there are many brands out there, and they range from 10 to 18 to 20 parts per million. But remember, when you're buying something and it seems cheaper, look to make sure the potency is the same, because ours is 20 parts per million, and there's a lot of them out there that are 10 parts per million, and they that you would just have to take double the dose. So is it really cheaper in the end? So the one that I choose to use comes in a variety of methods. There's a spray for quick cleaning and moisturizing, and I take it with me. It's very small. I put it in my purse. I spray the cart with it. I spray my hands. It disperses really quickly. It doesn't change the pH of the skin, which I like. A lot of sanitizing gels will actually irritate the skin because it's changing the pH. And when you change the pH, you change the natural protection that the body has on the skin. So the wound healing gel is quite amazing. I've used it, like I said, on a lot of things. In a previous video, I talked about a gentleman who came in with radiation burns on his leg, and how we use that silver gel. So I'll link that as well. Liquid is for internal use. It can be used in the ears. If you have a little infection, you can just drip some in the ears. Warm it first. You never put anything just room temperature in the ear, because your body is, a lot warmer than what the room temperature is. So, and then there's a hand and body cream that I love. The nurses that I work with that help me with teaching and that love this hand and body cream, because their hands are raw from all the washing that they have to do, and it helps the skin to remain elastic and hydrated. And then there's a cosmetic gel that you can put on your face. This is great for teens before you go to bed at night, and it can be helping rebalance that pH, especially if you're wearing masks. You need to keep protecting your face against the irritation of these masks. So I'll tell you, my husband and I love to cruise. We've cruised a lot of different places. And I'm hoping that after COVID, we can still do some more cruising. But in February, we took a 2-week cruise to South America. And it was very rough weather. In fact, one of the places we were supposed to stop at, we couldn't stop because of the rough seas. It was so rough. In fact, we had sliding closet doors, and they were magnetic, and the catch would release and the doors would fly. And I swear at one moment I was elevated during the night off of the bed and then slammed back down again. So these are rough seas, and I am so grateful for Ginger, because I learned about Ginger. When we first did our cruises, I tried the Dramamine, and I just felt yucky with that medicine. I just didn't feel myself. And then I tried the things behind the ears, and oh my goodness, that gave me double vision, and it interrupted my menses, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. So then a friend of mine talked to me about Ginger, and I thought, well, of course, Ginger. It's for nausea and upset stomachs. It's non-toxic. What a great answer. So now what I do is I take 1 ginger 3 times a day, one with each meal, a week before we start the cruise, and then during the cruise I take 2 with each meal. And I'll tell you, it's been amazing for me. I hope it works the same for you, but Ginger is great for if you're doing any road trips and you get a little car sick. I wish I'd known about it when we were going through the hills of Virginia. And it seems to be okay for the driver, but the passenger, when you're doing these hairpin turns, can be awful. And one time we took a bus ride up into the Haleakala, which was supposed to be, this is in Hawaii, and it was supposed to be the best place to see Comet's tail, the Halley's Comet. Well, anyway, the bus ride was the worst. I wish I had had Ginger at that time. But, I've gathered my travel kit together because of don't do what I did type things. And now you can learn from my experiences and not have to go through the same discomfort that I've gone through. Now, Ginger is great. If you're chilled, you can have a nice cup of hot water with some honey and a capsule or 2 of ginger, and it will warm you right up. It's just an amazing herb that helps with the indigestion and assists the body in warming. And you know what? It extends the warmth of the bath. So if you put 3 or 4 capsules in a bubbly bath, it will keep that bath water a lot warmer. Or even if you're doing a foot bath, put a couple of capsules of ginger in there, and that will help increase your circulation. It's a great thing to know. So when you're on vacation, you don't necessarily eat the same way you eat when you're at home. So the different foods that can stop you up. So oftentimes you're forgetting about fiber, you're not drinking enough water to stay hydrated, and you're not getting the exercise, especially long plane trips. Oh my goodness, we've had some plane trips that have lasted almost a day. And so it's really, you can exercise a little bit, but the way things were in this particular airplane, it was so congested. Now with COVID, they're separating everybody out, but this is pre-COVID. And you know, stuck in this little thing, and you, to get up, you had to interrupt people and walk the aisles, was like, there's, you know, a hip space between seats in the aisles. So it was not comfortable. So a lot of times you get constipated, and it's really important to bring something with you to assist with helping that bowel move, because generally speaking, when you're exercising, that's helping peristalsis move. And so a lot of times too, you're in a place where you're not comfortable using the bathroom, and so you hold back. But if you do that, you're going to hold in your toxins, and that can be a contributing factor to being sick as well. So the intestinal system is one of the main ways our body has to get rid of toxins. And if it's running too fast, like we described in the beginning, you want to have charcoal with you and probiotics. And if it's running too slow, then using something like a lower bowel stimulant can really be helpful. It has Cascara sagrada in it. It has some burdock. It has some wonderful herbs in it. And they are well known to help maintain bowel regularity, which is a really, really important thing when you're traveling, that you don't have the discomfort. And always make sure that you are drinking enough good water to keep you going and to hydrate yourself. So here's the bonus round. I've talked about my 5 main things. So essential oils. I always carry lavender with me. I think it's a fabulous herb. If I burn myself in any way, I can use lavender. Lavender is one of the few essential oils that you can apply right direct, that you don't need to have something like a gel or something to put it in. I love the lemon. Lemon can be used to stop a nosebleed. It has been very beneficial, plus the smell of lemon. So if a hotel room smells a little funky, I can put a couple of drops of lemon, run some hot water in the basin and disperse it, and then flush it out. I can put it in the toilet. Peppermint also is great. I've used peppermint for on flights that the air is really, really stale, and nobody objects to it because everybody's chewing gum anyway. So peppermint is great. I keep in a little spray and just spray, and it actually has some really good antimicrobial effects. The same thing with lemon. Most essential oils will have some kind of antimicrobial effect. And of course, Thai food, because, you know, if you get a headache or something like that, you can breathe it in and open that up. I am never without distress remedy, because you never know. You know, stress is all around. You don't plan for stress. It just happens. Like with most accidents or injuries, stress has a huge component, and distress remedy is wonderful. It is in a dropper, and you put a couple of drops under your tongue and just let it disperse. It's an energetic medicine, so it helps to bring you back up. If you're in a traumatic situation, it can help make you centered and calm, and then you can go on and think properly. Some of the target supplements I've taken years ago, I used to be bothered by lots of bladder infections, and I carried urinary maintenance with me on every trip. And what it did is it supports the bladder and the urinary system. And it was a godsend to me, because nothing can ruin a vacation more, I think, than a bladder infection. It's very painful. Melatonin, because your sleep is interrupted and you want to get back on a regular schedule. And that's basically what melatonin will do. It'll help you move through the time changes and adapt to where you are right now. Probiotics, I know most of them need to be refrigerated, but there are some shelf-stable ones. There's also, I feel that it's more important to take the probiotics and lose a few hundred effects, but it's more important to get it in me. Immune stimulator, you know, when I know I'm coming down with something and the silver just doesn't seem to be doing it for me, I'll take a couple of the immune stimulator and it'll knock out whatever bug is trying to take over. So these are my optional things. And then, of course, I put all of my supplements that I take on a daily basis in these little cellophane bags, and I label it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I have my multivitamin, my D3, my vitamin C, my omega-3, and of course my enzymes, because I feel one should not eat unless they're taking some enzymes along with it, because enzymes help you get the value out of the food that you're taking in. So I hope that this has been an enjoyable and good learning experience for you, that you don't have to learn the hard way on some of the things that I've learned, and that you are prepared when you travel, because you know what? Accidents happen. Well, nobody plans for these, but you can plan for the results of these. And you can do that with just a few items here and there. Collect them as you go. Find a nice little kit to put them all in. I bring them, I bring all the capsules with me in my carry-on bag. I bring smaller versions of the gel and liquid, and because I put it in a spray. And so if you need to put them in a sandwich bag for the TSA people, then they're good to go. This one and this one come in smaller sizes. So you should always have something for immune support, something to protect your hands and face against microbes, something to make sure I'm a regular gal, and something to help with bugs, bites, or stings, because you know what? They happen. You don't have to go to the jungle for that. We know that. We can go in our backyard, and bees are present, mosquitoes, whatever. You never know what you're going to run into. I hope that you share this video with others. Don't just leave it for traveling, vacation, and that. Everybody should have first aid kits. I have a big first aid kit that I have. I have a travel kit that I keep in my car that has emergency things that I might need in my car, smaller versions of things, Typhoon, ointments, that type of thing, because you just don't know. And it feels so much better when you can work on something. You can heal so much faster if you are present right then and there and deal with the situation. So, like I said, please share these videos. I keep focusing on health and all the joy around you. I wish you the best of health, and I appreciate you sharing this video and doing a thumbs up and comment. Or you can email me, drmary@bornforhealth.com. And thanks for attending today. Have a great day.